Matthew replied, "Separate your duties from one another. This is the first and greatest commandment for an information security professional and end user. And the second is like it. Use the least amount of privilege as possible. From these, all the controls and frameworks hang on these two principles." The second book of Matthew, as yet unpublished. Hi everyone, Matt Titcomb from Peak InfoSec. Yes, I did commit a minor heresy here by taking Matthew 22:40 and applying it to information security. The scary part is that it's true. When we consider all of the controls and frameworks in ISO, NIST, HITRUST, GDPR, PCI, SSA 18, yada yada yada, everything can come back to these two principles for risk mitigations: separation of duties and least privilege. Think about it. We all know the classic one that an administrator should only use their privileged account for specific administrative functions, and that the admin uses their non-admin account for normal things like email, web surfing, writing up documents, etc. So we separate duties by account types, and the two accounts have different levels of privileges. What about network segmentation, you ask? Well, we separate the duties of the security zones in the network segments based on their roles and risks, and then apply the least amount of privilege to control communications between the security zones as required by the security policies. We tell all users to have two separate accounts at home, one for using their PC, one for administering it. I also tell home users to separate their browsers when surfing the web. I use Safari for financial related matters and Firefox for general browsing. By applying separation of duties and least privilege to browser usage helps to protect from milder forms of malware. And yet, it is also these two principles we continue to screw up the most. The home user who uses only one browser. They store all their credentials in the browser and lose all that information when the browser and their PC are hacked. The admin who surfs the web from the server while using their admin account. They get hit by malware from a tech board because antivirus isn't installed on the server. All the flat networks out there. The poor schlep at Equifax who got blamed for their breach because a server wasn't patched. By the way, that was management's fault for failing to apply these principles. The right answer on that one is the person who patches shouldn't have the ability to decide if it is a false positive. Again, separation of duties. Need I go on? The funny part of all this is I knew these principles way back as a second lieutenant at Barksdale Air Force Base when I was a part of Strategic Air Command. We called their implementation the two-person rule. No one person was allowed to do anything with a nuclear weapon that may or may not have been stored on the base. We could neither confirm nor deny. Decades later, when these rules weren't followed, a B-52 erroneously flew a nuke across a nation. Minor treaty violation right there. So the short of this for you all is to follow, and for you to go forth and teach others to follow these two principles lest you get cyber nuked. Thanks again, out here. Whew, no lightning.